You've trained your entire career and you understand what it means to be a beginner and a champion. So tell me about your entry into kickboxing, the beginnings, and a little bit about the journey you had to take from a beginner to then deciding you want to do this, commit to this, and then champion.
I started in the school because I had a school course, from martial arts, self-defense and so. So it was my first time I came in contact with these sports, and I really felt in love. First of all, because I had a lot of energy and also a bit of aggression, It was this, teenage, and you don't know how to deal with that. And so this was for me like a thing how I could deal with my emotions and aggressions and so. And I see that I have a potential for that because I was in dancing, in ballet before. So I was very flexible. And compared with that power I can put in. And I always, was very ehrgeizig. So in English is always focus on goals. And so that was a good combination for me. And I really felt in love. And from this time on, I want to fight. So it was not for me like self-defense. It was for me to fight, to compare with others, to be the best, and also to show as a female, as a woman, to show, okay, also a woman can do that martial arts. Because when I started, this was very much for men, only for men. And it was pretty hard in the beginning, but I want to show, okay, also as a female, I can do martial arts, I can do the fights and also to be a champion and to motivate other women and kids to do that.
Did you always train in a group or one-on-one?
Both. For me, when I set the goal, I want to be the champion. This goal was always first goal, So I placed everything on the second and third and whatever place. So I did everything what it needs to be done for that. So I had the group trainings, I had personal trainings, I had boxing classes, I traveled the world. I bought the car to get to another place for sparrings, so it's different than just, do it for fitness or fun. So if you want to be a champion, there's such more behind which no one sees, Everyone sees just the success and the trophies, but it's a lot of hours, you put in a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of, having no time for family or friends. But yeah, it's the best feeling if you can reach this, but it has a price.
Did your training change over time?
Yes, of course. Because as a beginner, I have to put more hours, in the basics, in learning all the techniques, to build up a condition, to understand the sports of fighting. Yeah, you need to spend the hours on the technical drills and everything around it. You need to spend the hours in the sparring, in having experience, in traveling and so. And then time by time, the more experience you get, the different you train, Then the focus is different. You train more, maybe more tactics, or train more on your performance, or try to find a different trainer to focus more on the kick skills, on the boxing, or you just keep watching more fighters or how they do. So this is a bit different, and it also changed then for me. It changed when I was from a just fighter to a coach. Then it's also very different,
Yeah,
then
you
don't look on yourself, because as a fighter, the only focus is on yourself, on your trainings, and as a coach, the focus is on the others to make them better.
So you recently did return from Thailand, where you spent an intense month of Muay Thai training. So even though you're spending more time coaching than fighting these days, I see that you keep training. So what motivates you to keep training?
Because I just love it, So that's the best I can do, So it's, of course, I love fighting, and it's very special, and it's only a couple of years where you can be on the top, But I still love this sport. So I still love the movement. I love to train with the people, and I love, to grow, and always to put myself, in a uncomfortable position with maybe better fighters or coaches, whatever. And I think you always have to learn, to grow, and also have to learn to be a better coach, to understand the actual fighting game, because it changed so fast. There are different fight games, there are different fighters, there is, more professionals and so, and I want to see how they train, how the fighters train, how their level is, how the coaches think, what are their tactics, their strategies, and just, staying how I am or how I was is not enough, to get to the next level, even as a coach. And yeah, let's see. I mean, maybe I will start also to more like to wrestling or jiu-jitsu or that, because I'm very interested also in the mixed martial arts. So maybe that could be also a thing what I can add, in my martial arts thing, to understand also the kickboxing and striking more, to look at it in a different way.
So it sounds like you've been evolving your entire career, and I don't think your gym is an exception. So the concept of your gym at the High Kick Performance Center, one of the concepts is beginner to fighter. And I can personally attest to the encouragement that you give and the encouraging group atmosphere that you create and maintain here. And my 7-year-old son is here, and we came as complete beginners to the sport. And after a year and a half, we're still both motivated and going strong. And that's because of this encouraging atmosphere that you've built. So explain why you have chosen this open enrollment for your gym instead of just focusing on fighters and professionals and champions. Because a lot of people would say there's more glory in working one-on-one with just champions rather than everybody.
I think it's about, the sports in general, and it's about the people who come here. And in our philosophy, everyone is like the same here. It's about, being an athlete and being a fighter, no matter if you're a beginner, if you're a pro, if you're a champion, if you're a kid, if you're a female or man or whatever it is. So everyone should come here and feel comfortable and have the possibility, to learn from each other. Because, of course, as a beginner, you can learn from a champion, but also as a champion, you can learn from a beginner personally also. So that's what it's about. It's not only about the glory. And I think it's also important, if you're a champion, that you have the support from your team, and the team is everyone, including beginners, including intermediates, including the kids who look up to the champions. So without it, I think there is no glory. So you need all these people to be there and to shine. So
now, as a coach, constantly motivating others to just keep digging in, doing their best at every training session is not easy to do, especially in a mixed level class. So how do you find that energy and motivation within yourself to create this safe space for everyone to feel comfortable and confident at every level of training?
I think first of all, it's about my experience, because I'm doing this so long, for years, and I teach thousands of classes, and I saw so many people, and I learned from that how to deal with all these personalities, And yeah, it's about the experience I have, and maybe also these personal skills. The other thing is I always want to share my passion, because I have still this fire in me, and I want to make others have a good, class here and good atmosphere. And for myself, my goal is, if everyone's happy going out of the gym, I'm happy too. So it's the same for me if a fighter is, training with me and is happy because he or she can win after that. The same as a beginner can learn some new skills. Or just for example, last week I had a girl here. She was very beginning. She was crying in the session because of it was, for me, it was easy exercise, just touching the shoulders, to getting some experience with timing and distance, and so she was very afraid of that. And I was talking to her what if she had a bad experience, and the reason why she started was to lose her fears, of getting hit by boxing or kicks and, more like a self-defense or confidence thing. And then she came back and it was better the next time. And so, that's also a thing which depends, on the coach. Of course, I also told her, if you want to fight, maybe this is not a thing for you. I have to be honest. But everyone's different, so.
So it seems like you are confident dealing with many personalities, from insecure to confident. Yeah. But what about those personalities that might come through that are really strong and may not want to be next to someone like me in a class or be partnered with me in a class?
Then I would say it's not the right gym for you here. Yes, because I want everyone to respect everyone else. Yes, yeah. So it's a matter of respect and it's our values. If someone is not okay to train with a beginner, or it's not okay to train with a man or with a woman or with a younger one, so I would not accept it.
Have you come across people who get quite frustrated when they're at a high level and they have to come back from an injury or learn a new exercise? You seem very open to learning new things, but what about those professionals who aren't?
Injury is always hard for everyone. So I think you need to be very strong mentally. And maybe you work together with a psychologist or so, working on your mental things if it's very hard. And together with a coach, you can go through this phase of your career. And it needs a good team support, with your physio, with your coaches, with your maybe mental coach or whatever, then you can do that. So without a team, I think it's pretty hard, but with a good team support, you can also go through this.
Well, one final question. It's a fun question, but, take a moment to think about it. If you could jump in a time machine and go back in the past and coach your 16-year-old self, you now the coach, the champion, and you meet your 16-year-old, you could do it for a whole day. What would you say to 16-year-old Lisa in a training session?
When I look back now, I think I would do things different, train different, but I also realized the times were different, so it's hard to say if I would change something. Now from this perspective, yes, because I have so much more experience and knowledge about the training, about the science, about the nutrition recovery, all around it. So I would definitely train different and have another focus and maybe focus on a more professional side of the sports, because I was in the amateur and I know how hard it is and how much time invest and have no money and very hard to get sponsors and so. But I would tell myself, find the best team, find the best support. And but what I always did, I always found, solutions. And
Is there anything technical or maneuver-wise you would tell 16-year-old Lisa?
Technical? What do you mean?
Yeah, the actual movement of the sport, or hey, look at your watch with the hook. Is there anything technical that you would tell 16-year-old Lisa?
No, technical not, but it's about the, how you train would be very different what I would teach myself or my kid or so, because when I look back, so like even 10 years ago or like 15 years or so, the training was totally different. It was like more in the martial arts, not as modern as in other sports it is. Just the thing was like, the motto was like, more is more. And the harder training you can do is the better training, And this changed a lot, Now it's like training more efficient, And focusing, also when I look, in the sports science, what I read and what I do in research, most is based on just men. And this is very sad. And it's really shocking, when I just research and it's all based on men and, females are different because they have a cyclus and so you have to look at this from a different angle and, you know, take care of this, because I in my career had a lot of, you know, problems dealing, you know, with weight cuts and so, and the coaches just said, okay, you have to have your weight, and I did, you know, very stupid things to get there, and had too less recovery, you know, I was tired, I had overtraining, I had stress, dealing with these mental things, you know, and yeah, and didn't know, I had no answer, you know, and that's what I'm, would tell a younger me, maybe.
Maybe listen to yourself more and your intuition, because everyone's telling you something that might not be good for you.
But it's really hard, you know. And unfortunately, I had not the coaches who told me that, and that's what I want to give my athletes, you know. I mean, of course, they have to train and can make their decisions, but I can just give them, you know, a better way how they can train safer or better, more efficient, take care of their health, and so to have, you know, a good career with less injuries and less mental breakdowns and so.
Well, those are all my questions.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you would love our voice community to know about training?
About training?
In general, like training and a mindset or a lifestyle or something, a tip to keep going.
I think, as you said, it's like keep going. You can learn so much from martial arts, you know, because it's about the values. It's about working together. It's about this team spirit, you know, to having respect for each other, to have this discipline and not to give up in tough situations, because life can always be tough, and you can have some people you like, you don't like, and how to deal with all the situations. It's like in a fight, it's never easy. The training is never easy, and so. But if you have the right people around you and you just have a very strong belief in yourself, you can reach everything what is, you know, possible, especially for females. So I want to give them, you know, be strong with that, and the same with men. So it should be, you know, equal for everyone, and should be about the values and not about, you know, him or he is better or about the gender or whatever. So
well, thank you.
You're welcome.